I'm Mark Reith here with Simon Erickson, and our stock of the day is 3D Systems. Shares of the company are down over 25% today on the news that it dramatically decreased its EPS guidance for its fourth quarter. Simon, where is this weakness coming from?
Yeah, so Mark, this was an ugly report. The market obviously didn't like it, down 25% in one day. The weakness cited was actually in consumer demand. It said there was strong demand from their industrial clients, not so much on the consumer side of things. Even though that is bad, I prefer it that way than the other way around because you really want to make sure that you're taking care of professional industrial clients, and it looked like that was something that 3D Systems was doing.
Okay, so you look at the 3D sector these days, it's growing so quickly, so many companies are entering this area. Is 3D Systems still the strongest contender?
So 3D Systems is the market cap leader. You know, before the drop today, they were at about an $8 billion market cap, which is lofty, and they are the leader in the space. But I think it's actually important to be the leader in this space for a couple of different reasons. First of all, when you look at the industry's revenue, the consolidated revenue of this entire space, only about 35% of it is actually coming from the printer sales themselves. There's another 40% that's coming from the consumable materials, and then on top of that, another 25% that's coming from service and maintenance. So it's important to have an installed base across a broad variety of customers, and that's something that 3D Systems does have. In addition to that, you know, I think that as long as they can keep an eye on their margins and make sure that they're not spreading themselves too thin, I still think they're in a good place right here.
Okay, so that being said, even after today's dramatic drop, are you buying? Is this an opportunity to buy, or are you just staying away?
Yeah, I think that this is something you really need to widen the lens for. You know, you look at quarterly results, that's a backward-looking metric. You look at guidance, that's a one-year forward metric. But in the larger scheme of things, I think 3D Systems is still being discovered by a lot of the industries that are using it. Healthcare and energy, huge industries that are just not getting a grasp on what this technology can do. So I think if we look far enough out in the future, I do think this is a buying opportunity. You know, again, I think that it's just starting to gain adoption out there. There's still a long way to go, and we're still in the early innings for this one.
All right, definitely something to watch. For Simon Erickson, I'm Mark Reith. That's our stock of the day. We'll see you tomorrow.